Namaste, Vanakkam, and hello to you, one and all. My name is Abhi, Astro Inward Abhi, oneness in astrology and spirituality, bringing in awareness by Abhi. If you haven't as yet, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy this content, please comment. You can also ask me whatever questions you want answered, and I'll gladly assist you. I'm going to go straight into it. I'm going to talk about karmic entanglements and how to get out of it. So, karmic entanglements, let's look at the word karma. I've done a podcast on karma. What karma is? Karma basically means action. It's neither positive nor negative. And entanglement comes from the word tangle. Entanglement. It's entangled. So what it means is your thoughts, your words, your actions is now entangled with other energy. And what kind of energy? I'm going to use a perfect example to describe this. How would you know that you like to eat KFC if you haven't tasted it? It's only after you have tasted KFC you now have a strong desire for KFC. Similar to this here in relationships. Once you enter a state of consciousness with a certain person or a particular person, they bring out a certain kind of experience within you. Now when there is a fear of loss, you have now formed a karmic entanglement. And this is extremely powerful when you have actually slept with the person. The moment you sleep with the person, you form a very, very strong bond, which is very difficult to break. Because at that moment when you are reaching an orgasm, there's two particular people, their consciousness raises to that dimension of exactly that. And then there is a karmic attachment to the feeling of that moment. Therefore, the fear starts to creep in. The fear of loss, because this is something that you cannot control. If you want KFC, all you need to do is go to the shop and buy KFC. But how do you control somebody walking away from you? So the consequence of karmic entanglements is definitely fear, pain and suffering. Depending on your spiritual journey, if your vibration is low, anger, fear, animosity, hatred, jealousy, and all of these characteristics this is a dimension that you will be in. Therefore, karmic entanglements, they occur more in people who are vibrating very, very low. In fact, karmic entanglements only happen to people that are vibrating in the lower dimension or the lower frequencies. Therefore, it's called a karmic entanglement. People that are vibrating a bit higher, it becomes, as a consequence of being of a higher vibration, the awareness is that nothing is owned and every piece of life needs to vibrate to its highest possibilities. So therefore, the karmic entanglements, there's not much. The karmic entanglements are very, very powerful because there is so much of karmic memory there. Karmic memory, the memory of karma between two people. Therefore, that memory is so powerful, it can actually make you feel kind of anxious when there's no reason to. Just because your vibration is so low, you will naturally feel fear even when there's no reason to be fearful, because you have a fear of loss. It has no direct relation to the actual person, but fear is a consequence of being in the dimension that you are vibrating on. So you will have fear of loss for everything, not just a particular person. It's because you are vibrating that low frequency. Fear of loss is a consequence. Therefore, that karmic entanglement becomes a strong reality. And this is how toxicity is born. Why? Because you start to spew out information where you are kind of insecure, and this will make the other person feel a bit kind of off. Therefore, this brings about a certain reaction from them, and then there's two frequencies that is clashing with each other. And this further, there's a effect where it continues. There's a consistent effect where it continues, and it's going to bring you a ripple effect where from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to reach a point where there's so much of toxicity in the relationship that it's very, very difficult to find peace again. So karmic entanglements are very, very powerful, and they bring in a series of issues that you will face during the duration of your relationship, even after. I mean, there are so many people suffering karmic entanglements with people who they are no longer with. Therefore, karmic entanglements needs to be broken. And how you break them is through meditation. Through the dissolution of the mind, one is able to rise in frequency and able to see from a higher dimension. Once you are able to see from a higher dimension, there is more awareness. Once there's more awareness, there's more clarity, there's better decision making, and there's less suffering. Thank you very much. I hope you understand what karmic entanglements are and how to deal with them. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Hari Bol, goodbye.